Hello, Stacy. I'm early, but that's okay. Um, I've been getting some email from you in reference to the ostinatos. That was just the one day that we worked on them. We will be working on additional ostinatos in some of the up-and-coming lessons, but that's out of the workbook, which you don't have. So if you want to buy the workbook, or you want to buy just the PDFs, you know how to do that, okay? Now, you still having problems with the reception? Because the online thing here is, it's not easy, man. There's too many people online right now. And you missed last night's lesson. Yes, the workbook. You have the formulas, and there's an additional book called the workbook. Okay, the workbook is $35, which includes shipping and handling. The PDFs are $20. Okay, anyway, you missed. The workbook is what we work out of. I've been working at a Gary Shafee book, his ostinato patterns, okay? And I've been writing them out and sending them out for free. And it's just, I'm unable to do that because of the time element. So what I did is I put them all into a book of all the different symbol ostinatos, okay, to play against the patterns. Thank you, Stacy. Robert, how you doing? Okay, so I want to continue where I left off last night. Just to review what we did last night, we were talking about the levels. And by the way, I did get a few videos, and they're not bad. Really, they're not bad at all. So, a little tweaking. See, the whole thing about the levels, it's a science, all right? It's the laws of physics. You're always trying to obtain a consistent sound from the right and from the left. And if you're playing piano with the volume like this, and you want to nail an accent, well, something has to occur. And there has to be a different motion to get in position to nail the accent without any effort, okay? I mean, it's just a simple process. If I play here one volume, I'm going to accent one of those notes, I have to lift up. Now, I noticed on some of the videos I got last night, when they lift up, all right, that's fine, but when they make contact again, to get the accent, there's a tension they develop, and they have to relax that, okay? Okay, no problem, Robert. It would be nice to see what's going on. You need to understand, any type of tension whatsoever is going to distort, number one, it's going to distort the sound of the stick. It's going to create additional muscle movement or hand motion that's unnecessary. So we're trying to avoid that. It's a simple process. Downstroke, upstroke. Simple. Also, when I noticed when the guys were holding the stick traditional, when they make impact, not a problem. Still, the tension is still on their hand, but just relax, stop the stick. And as you come up, it's not releasing the fingers to come up and then bring the fingers around. That's an additional movement. You don't want to get that. All you want to do is make a minimal amount of movement and make the correct movement. Simple. Okay? Now, yesterday we worked on the eighth note accent development, and I gave you, from the eighth notes, 3 different vamping patterns. See, the whole thing, and it's a psychological issue, all right, with drummers, and most students of any instrument. It's hard for them to pay their dues. and by paying your dues, you know, you could be a player for 100 years and have a nice set of hands, but you want to make them nicer. So what you need to do is pay your dues. So by paying your dues means to play it slow. It's practicing is a personal thing, okay? For example, if I want to play quarter notes, and if I set the metronome to 60, let's go to 60, it's slow. I don't want to go any slower. But that's my tempo. And I'm going to play quarter notes from one position, from one height. So therefore, scientifically, in the laws of physics, I should obtain the same sound. Now that's slow. But now, if I want to accent, I'm counting 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want to accent 1, 2, 3. I have to come up on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, Dennis. Okay, so now, you see what I did? That's at 60. It's simple. So at 60, you stand there, you know, you do a minute with the right, a minute with the left. And remember, when you're doing the left, you're in this position. You're going quarter notes from one point. You're not releasing the stick and catching it. When you release the stick and catching it, like I said, that's an additional motion you don't need. You just drop the stick, it automatically come back. Nice and equalized. Now, I'm going to lift the stick on 4. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3. Now, I want to bring that out. When I came up, I did not release the stick. I held my fingers in position where I'm usually holding the stick. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the stick. I didn't release the hand, the fingers. And I come down, and boom, I'm back in the same position. Now, you really want to be, you really want to get the best out of this exercise. Yes, it's not like around the drum set. This is an exercise for you to develop execution of the levels. Now that's at 60. And like I said, you know, you could do it for a minute at 60 on the right hand, a minute at 60 with the left hand, back and forth, back and forth. However you want to work it, like I said, it's a personal thing. Now, if I hit 60 and I feel good about it, I have it moving on or going on the correct way, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, no tension at all. So now at 60, I can move it. You should move it up in increments of 4, like 64, 68, 72. But you understand what I'm talking about, the increments you want to move it up to. You're at 60. So I'm going to go to 70. I'm going to cheat. I just did it at 60, then 64, then 68, and I should be on 72. Here we are, we're on 72. And you're still in the quarter note zone. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So you got relaxed. No tension at all. If you practice relaxed like that, it follows you until you're playing when you're playing faster. How you doing, Mr. Mante? Okay. So now I'm going to put the metronome at 72, and I'm going to play quarter notes this time. Again, and I'm going to play the accent on the count of 1. But look at my starting position. And when I make execution, there's no tension, no stiffness, no me grabbing the stick real tight. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Do it as many times as you want. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's at 72. All right, now you've done it for a minute here with the right hand, a minute here with the left hand, or maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever you decide you want to do. It's not going to hurt to do it for a longer period of time because now you're getting a feel for the execution, the sound that you're obtaining, and releasing of any tension. So now I'm going to go and just heat again. I'm going to go to 82. And I'm still in quarter notes. Accenting 1. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax. Quarter notes. For a minute, then to the left. That's practicing, man. I'm practicing. I'm not trying to set any records or prove anything. I have a relationship with my drumsticks and me. And I'm making them feel good. Okay? 82. Let's go to 100. We'll be better off at that. Okay? Now let's go to 120. We're doing quarter notes now. Remember, guys. 120. That's the quarter note. Ding, chang, boom, bang, yay. 1. Relax. 1. My body, it looks like my elbows are glued to my side. It looks like I'm stiff. But where my positioning with my hand is, my forearm and the back of my arm and my shoulders totally relaxed. No tension. You would hear the tension in the stick. So now you're going to do it at 120. 1, 2, 3. You're feeling good about everything now. Now notice when I did come up with the left hand, I did not release the stick. My hand positioning, my grip of the stick was the same. Okay, so now, that was at 120. Let's go back to 60. And I'm just sharing with everybody how you should practice these to get the most out of them. So we already did 60 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now we change the exercise. Instead of doing it at eighth quarter notes, rather, we're going to do eighth notes. 1 and 2 and like 3, and there we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. One of the vamps and the stick control book formulas. The slower you practice that, the better off you are. Now we did it at 60 quarter notes. We're at eighth notes. I'm going to move the metronome up to 72 in eighth notes. That's 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3. 4. Left hand. So on and so forth. You go up to wherever you want. Now I'm going to stop at the eighth note, and I just want to go over now the paradiddle, the single paradiddle. Again, by the way, tonight I'm going to try, I can't guarantee it, I'm going to try to give you the first 5 lines of Joe Morello's master studies. I get all tongue-tied, okay? Anyway, and I'll show you, a different way to control your levels. The same way, but because of the sticking pattern and the placement of the accents, the motions all change. So let's go to a simple one, the single paradiddle. Now, any unnecessary motion is going to prevent you from becoming faster. So you want to train yourself to eliminate any additional extra motion. And I'll show you some examples of some extra motion, okay? Now, when I do the paradiddle, and the slower I do it, the better off I am. It gives me a chance to tweak what I should tweak, what's not correct. So when I come down, both my sticks are equal. Now, when I lift up, I don't lift the stick and then come up. From this point, this is where I am. I come up. Ouch. Sorry, let me do that again. Up. There was no movement there. So I've seen things on the videos like this. Down, up. No, 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 no. You're going down, up. No extra movement there. And all this is not tap, tap. It's just tap, tap. From that point. That's how you doing here, old dog? So you got one, and see no motion? Now I didn't lift the stick to come down with a tap. From this point, that's where I'm tapping. That's what you got to clean up. Down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap. Now, to learn the paradiddle is elementary, okay? But to really correct those motions is what you want to do. You stay there at a tempo and continue to do that motion correctly, you will be amazed, okay, at what happens to your hands. Anything other than that, you're not wasting your time. You're not going anywhere. How you doing, Jim? An old dog? Okay. Do we understand that, guys? So, that's just a single paradiddle. It's very elementary. I'm not lifting and throwing the next one down. I'm going down, and then from this point, up. And then from where my stick is now, tap, tap. I'm getting videos like the tap, tap. That's unnecessary. So whoever did send me the videos, and I got quite a few yesterday, let's clean that up, okay? So we were reviewing the eighth note accents, and it's on page, what page is that? Stick Control Book Formulas, number 38. Now, everybody have that out? And any questions on that? No questions. Any questions? Number 38. Stick control formula number 38. Accent developments. If not, I'll go into the triplets. Let me see which one that is. Any questions? No questions, huh? Okay, for those who have the workbook, and for those who don't, get it. Okay, stick control formula number 39. The eighth note triplet. Now, the eighth note triplet, there's a variety of ways of counting, which I disagree with. You count them the way it works really well for you. But the way I count the eighth note triplet are two different ways. I count 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Simple. Okay? Now for, say if I'm playing polyrhythms or subdivisional purposes, instead of me counting 1 and the, I'm counting 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. For example, I'm doing 3 against 2. I'm going to play 1, 2, 3, 1. That's the reason for that. Okay? So let's go accent development with the triplet. We're going to take the accent, okay, on the downbeat. I'm only going to go over 3. There's just let me put the tempo up a little bit so I don't fall asleep. That's 120. I'm going to play the 8th note triplet to the downbeat, no accents. Maybe I should do it a little slower for you guys. Let's do 80. That's 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Simple. Triplets. Coming down from 1 point. 1 and 2 and 3. Same sound. That's the first triplet. Now, let's take, and we're going to use these a lot, so I'm preparing you. We're going to take the 8th note triplet and accent the first stroke of the triplet. So we're going to have this. 1 and da. Now again, it looks like I'm stiff. I should use my body. Well, I do, but I'm playing slow. I don't need to use all that. See it? So if I accent the first stroke of the triplet, the movement is down, tap, up. But now, the downstroke seems to be pretty easy for everybody. Downstroke. But look, it remains there. I stopped it. I didn't squeeze it. I didn't put any tension on it. And from this point, I'm doing a tap. I didn't lift it and then do a tap. I just dropped it. And then from this point, I'm going to do an upstroke. I'm dropping it and bringing the stick back. Again, a drop, bring it back. So I get a consistent motion, and by doing a consistent motion, theoretically, you should get a consistent sound. All right, before I continue, I need some reaction there in the chat. Do we understand this? Any questions? I received a couple emails last night. Matt, you give us too much work. Slow down. Well, I get excited. Yeah, I get excited. I want to give you work. I really want everybody, I want to share my knowledge here and help everybody become or fine-tune their knowledge and their methods or techniques, or if they never saw the technique, is to learn it. So let's get some interaction here with the chat. Any questions on hitting the accent on the first note of the triplet? This is a prerequisite to going into next week's lessons over and over again. Okay, we all understand it. But there's a lot of important things. You know, it's simple for me just to explain down, tap, up. But when you execute it, that's where you have to be aware. Down. It stays there. I don't lift it up to get a tap or an upstroke. It stays there. Down, tap, up. Simple. Okay? And again, what's this? Why would it move in your palm, Dennis? I mean, you know, you're relaxed. It's not moving. It's there. I don't know if you can see that. It's there. I'm not gripping stick. I'm not holding tight to the stick. Again, you know, when you make impact, there's going to be some force coming back to keep the stick down. So it's not wobbling in there. I'm holding that stick. I'm gripping that stick tight enough so I can control it, but not so tight that I have tension. I drop the stick down. It stays there. It didn't wobble. Down, stop the stick, tap, no wobble, up, no wobble. Okay? Now, your accent, we did the triplet without the accent. And look at my stick. They're coming down from the same, who's this? Words, Room, Music. Okay, Charles, just hold on a second. I'll address that for you. Charles' question was, can I demonstrate the paradiddle, again, the single paradiddle, at a moderate tempo to show where it goes from slow to more of a bounce? Okay, not a problem. But let's stay with the triplet. Let me finish the triplets and I will address that, okay? So here's what we got. We have the triplet by itself, no accent. I'm coming down from one point. I'm not bringing the stick down like this and then to make the bounce. It's just bouncing. Remember I said yesterday bouncing a basketball or a soccer ball or whatever? That's a look. I'm not doing nothing but letting the rebound. I am controlling the rebound because I have my hand up here like that. But it's the same process here. So we're doing the eighth note triplet, no accent. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the, no probleme. Now I want to nail the accent now on the first stroke. So my starting position needs to be here. Now I'm not stiff, I'm relaxed. I bring it down. It stays there. That's controlled. Now from where I stop the stick is a tap. I don't lift the stick and then tap. It's just tap and then up. See that? Down, tap, up, down, tap, up. No extra motion, no additional motion. You want to eliminate all of that. All that extra motion is going to prevent you, it's going to distort the sound. The chances of you distorting the sound is going to be great. All right? And then the additional movement is creating additional muscles that you don't need to do this with. Okay? I mean, there's teachers out there, shows a full stroke. Now listen to how ridiculous this looks. When they throw the stick down and as they come back to receive the stick, they open their hand and catch it. That's totally off the wall. Why they do that, I have no idea. If it works for them, go with it. It don't work for me, and to me, that's totally unnecessary. All right, so now let's go to the triplet with the accent again on the first stroke. Now, the slower you practice this, the better off you're going to be. That means that you're going to tweak anything that you see that's going wrong, any additional motion. So, again, we're going to go up the metronome. So that's the two things of the triplet I did, without the accent and then with the accent on the first note of the triplet. Now we're going to take the accent and we're going to move it to the last note of the triplet, okay? So let me start at 60. And we're going to do it slow. At 60, every note, every tick is not a triplet, it's a count. 1 and da. Now it's going to be more beneficial to play it at a tempo like this. 1 and da. 2 and left hand. 3 and no movement and 4 and 1 and 2 and so on and so forth. You have to eliminate that extra movement. You don't want to use any additional muscles that you don't have to, because using additional muscles will create tension. So that's the three of them, or the two vamping patterns. The one we went over last night with the eighth notes, and now it follows the same progression when you move the accents with the triplets. So that's 2, and tonight we'll hit the 16th notes, okay? Now, what I've decided to do, and it's always nice to have everyone's opinion, and especially, you know, the students that are frequenting this stream. Now, I decided the first lesson on Monday, which is 1 p.m. on here on the same location, Eastern Standard Time, we're going to kind of go over things with the drum pad. The evening lesson will go to the drum set, and we'll remain on the drum set until Thursday. The first lesson on the drum pad. Now, does that sound okay with you, gentlemen and ladies and whomever? Okay, we had a question. Can I show the paradiddle at a moderate tempo? Or show where it goes from slow to more of a bounce? Okay. Now, I want to share with everybody a drummer friend of mine. He's an instructor as well. Good drummer, man. Nice guy and a good instructor. Okay, his name is Mike Michalko. All right, his name is Mike Michalko. Okay, so he demonstrated how to make your paradiddle faster. Well, the title gets me crazy because you have to pay your dues. But he made a lot of sense. And actually, I heard the video and I watched the video. And then when I went to NAMM, I met Mike and we talked about it. He's absolutely correct. He's making a one-hand motion. 1 E and He's taking the two parts of the paradiddle, the single, the accent, and the two bounces. But now, when he's playing that, there leaves an opening with the left hand. So I got 1, 1, over and over again. And Mike is really a good drummer. He is. And he's kind, he's always willing to help. Nice guy, man. And his videos do him justice. And his personality is more justified when you meet him in person. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate where the paradiddle starts to rebound. First off, the rebound, what you should do is understand how to do doubles with the rebound. Now, like I said yesterday or a couple days or a couple streams ago, when I first learned doubles, man, I had nobody explain a stroke and a rebound, or that if you're doing two rights, no matter how good of a player you are, how much control of a drumstick you have, the first right is going to be slightly louder. So I used to go home, and I was about 11, 12 years old, with the big marching sticks, the 3S, and play on everything. All the night tables, the furniture in my bedroom, the kitchen table, the kitchen cabinets, So one day my mother and father said, whoa, you're marking everything up, which they were correct. So I said, okay, so I'm eating dinner and I'm, that becomes annoying because people don't understand what you're doing. So what I did is I went through several different kinds of drum pads and I figured, well, I just played all the time. And when I was doing it that way, I was getting a lot of strain, a lot of stress, because I was entering it, and I'm going to not do it with strain or stress. 1 E and and that's the doubles. 1 E and 2 E, and I can't find the rebound. It just stays the same. But yet, I didn't understand the rebound. The rebound is there. There's a rebound. See it? 1 E. It's back. So I did it in 16th note formation for quite a while. And I tried to get it as fast as I could. And eventually I kind of felt the rebound and started to rebound the drumstick. But an easier way to say hello to the rebound is instead of playing 1 E and two different ways. I could play that first note of the double as a dotted eighth note. 1 E and 2 E and 3. Now the rebound starts to appear. That's going to start to give you the rebound. Or instead of starting the double 1 E and I can go 1 E and 2 E and 3. So I started the double with 1 E and. See that? Now that takes me back to the original question here. How do you get the rebound? When do you know the rebound is? Well, when you do discover the rebound and it's happening, you go, okay, that's where it's at. Now, the reason why I teach the the level system with the paradiddle or with any notes is to make the notes clearer. Now, when the rebound happens, it just happens. Because when you get to a certain point, the rebound will appear. So when I'm doing the paradiddle, I practice that. Down, up. There's the rebound right there. I'm going to get sloppy. So the rebound is there. So I'm going to put this guy, all right, as say 100. And I'm going to do it in 16th note formation. And what happens when you do it for you're doing, say, I consider it an endurance exercise. Other instructors don't. If I play the paradiddle here at 100, okay, and I set my timer like I showed everybody last week, a timer, or the other day, okay? How you doing, Sadler? Anyway, what I've taught, you set the metronome maybe to 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and you want to play the paradiddle for 3 minutes in 16th note formation. Now you see that there's a rebound there. 1 E and a. Now I'll do that at 120 for 3 minutes. Check it out, and I'll do it in front of a mirror, or I'll film myself and I'll look at my levels. Look at the sticks. They're all at the same height and they're all consistent. That's where you got to find that rebound. Now, another way, and this was going back, this is a long time ago, my goodness. This is before I studied with Joe Morello. I went to an instructor a couple miles from my home who was a former student of Joe Morello. And he showed me this. I hate the term tricks because you really need to pay your dues. For example, if you take the first part of the paradiddle, 1 E, all right, and now you got to get that duh. So if I take the figure 1 E N, 2 E N, 1 E N, 2, that's a 3-stroke rough, and play it up. I get like that. On the last stroke that I make, I let it go. Do you see that, Mr. Words, Rune Music? What is your first name? Please help us out. And also, thank you, Sadler, for getting on my email. You're on my list now, and starting Monday, I'll send you out an email. If there's any music, I'll send that to you as well. But I'll give you times and locations of the week's lesson, okay? Now, Words, Rune Music. Here's my email. Okay. Thank you, Jim. I beat you to it. Okay, who is this? You want to learn finger technique? The finger grip? All right. I don't really, think of when I play, rebound or fingers or whatever. What everybody has to remember, and if you want to go to fingers, all right, and we're going to throw out the term molar because it's the laws of physics. I hate that term molar. All right, it's just me personally. All right, but when you do fingers, first off, you have to remember everything you play comes from the wrist. It's a simple process. Now, there's so many great drummers with the push and pull. I don't really work with that because I do have some physical the whip technique. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. I don't really teach fingers. I kind of when I need to play it, I play it. And the only reason why I don't teach fingers is because I have a childhood injury that's flaring up right now in my left hand. And sometimes I lose control of that. But I can demonstrate what I do know with my right hand. First off, you have to learn how to grip the stick. Now, everybody's different, okay? And everybody's hand's slightly different. But the basic fulcrum, that's the balancing point of the stick, is what you need to understand in gripping the fingers around it, like so. Now, I see guys playing like this, with these two fingers open, and they're resting the drumstick on the back fingers. Now, when I play fingers, I turn my stick around, okay? And this is called the French grip. Now, I'm developing strength here just with the forefinger and the thumb. Now, if I want to develop more strength from my back fingers, I'll go to my third finger and develop that. And I'll go back and forth. I don't really practice stuff like that. But that's what I know. And there's so much to practice with it. Finger control is great for volume plus speed, because you eliminate a lot of the motion and you bring it to the fingers, but it comes from the wrist. I hope that sort of helps you, because that's all I know about that. And did I help you out with the, well, you're not really struggling, you're learning. There's a difference. When you say struggle, there's no struggle. You have to pay your dues, without a doubt. You need to throw the stick down, relax, temp, pop. Now, as far as the rebound, we're going to get into it now. With the whip technique. Where that whip technique has come from, I have no idea. I learned what they call a whip technique like this as an arm stroke. You want to refer to it as a whip technique, fine. But now, that's for one stroke. I bring my stick all the way around my head and hit the drum. And I pound that drum. And by me doing that, it will choke the sound. Now, Jimmy, you posted a video of Morello demonstrating technique. All right? And he does, you go like this, and he makes a statement. Well, you do this for quite a long time, eventually you will levitate. Now, I've never really seen a drummer use arm strokes or do that motion, a whipping motion. One video that's out there has got about 3 million hits, and that's the drummer is on the wrong gig. And in my opinion, he's just making fun of the molar. He's playing like this, and he's making fun of it, okay? So when I say whip, it's a pump. When I pump my arm into my side, that's going to give me an accent from the stick without disrupting the flow. If I'm playing triplets, 1, 2, 1, 2, about right here. Now watch the elbow. It's out here, it's relaxed. You see the whip? I mean, not the whip, the pump, it's a pumping motion. No accent. At slower tempos, if I want an accent, it's an upstroke and a downstroke. All from the wrist. As I get there in tempo, you don't have time to whip. Because if you whip, it's going to disrupt the flow. And that is a no-no. So what I did was that motion was I pumped my right hand and my right arm into my side. That gave me not a disruption of the flow, it added to the flow so I can nail the accent. Do we understand that? Does that make any sense to anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Same thing with this. At a fast, my left hand's down, but at a faster tempo. That elbow comes in just before the accent. Any questions? Now, for those who don't have the workbook nor the stick control book formulas, email me if you want to purchase. One, it comes in PDFs and it comes in hardcover. The workbook is $35 for the hardcover, $20 for the PDFs. The stick control formula hardcover is $45 and the PDF is $25. It's 180 sheets and I use them all the time. All right, if you're out of the United States, I cannot send you a hardcover only because of the fact the cost of shipping is astronomical. So we just keep it as PDFs. Now, if anybody wants to purchase, say, Mike Clark's book, his new publication, or anything, say, from Hudson Music. Hudson Music is like a drummer's library. You go to my site and you look under Matt's products. You go to Matt's products, you'll see 4 of my personal publications. I haven't put up the workbook nor the formulas yet. And you'll see 2 icons of say, Tommy Igoe and another drummer. You hit one of those icons, it takes you directly to Hudson Music. And now you have a whole library of drum books. Anything that you purchase from Hudson Music, I will get credit for. But anyway, I did come a little early today. I'd like to stay longer if I get some questions. I hope that whip, it's like an arm stroke. Somebody labels it as a whip and they thought he was God, so they call it a whip. But it's not. It's not a whip. It's a pumping action. Thank you, Stacy. And if anybody wants to become a member of my site, I've now have 3 options. A month-to-month subscription, which is, it's the month-to-month subscription for $19.99. 6-month subscription, okay, and a 1-year subscription. Yeah, I am familiar with Jim Chapin's video, speed, power, and control. Yes, I am. And Jim Chapin was a beautiful man, okay? He had the technique down, without a doubt. And he is using the level system. He refers to that level system as the molar system. Now, the term molar is fine. All right, because it all of a sudden become an acceptable way to play the level system. To me, the level system, or what they call molar, is the laws of physics. That's number 1. Now, number 2, I studied with Joe Morello on and off for about 30 years. And when I compare, which I don't like to, but in this case I'm going to, the difference between Joe Morello and Jim Chapin. Excellent players, excellent instructors, but if you look at the video you just said, there's Jim Chapin with a suit and tie. Very nervous, stiff. When I see a person like that demonstrating a method, I'd have to say, that's stiff, okay? When you look at Joe Morello's video, you'll see he's got a C&I dog necklace on, plus he has a Harley t-shirt on. So to me, that's like night and day, okay? Now, the whip or the molar or the speed or power. Let's talk about the power. First off, I hit a drum, and you only can hit a drum so hard. when you reach that point, if you hit it harder than the drum will support, the sound will choke. So what's power? Power is coming from here. Simple. If you need more power than that, tell your sound man to turn up the mic. Simple. I don't disagree with Jim Chapin. What I disagree with is how it is approached and labeled. That's what I disagree with. I happen to think Jim Chapin was a great instructor. You know, but the molar thing, you have to understand where that comes from and why it was labeled. It's like, you know, when you guys first started to take lessons, and the reason why you take lessons is because you want to be a drummer, you want to be famous or whatever, all those things eventually will weed out. But you looked up to your drum teacher and you admired him and you said, yeah, I want to be like that. And you couldn't wait to take your next lesson, which is understandable. And remember what I said, Jim Chapin studied with Sanford Moeller. And Sanford Moeller studied with a Civil War drummer. And I'm not going to go into all that detail, but watch the JoJo Mayer video. He'll explain the whole thing to you. He does a magnificent job. Yeah, he does. He addresses the whip and the pump. And there is no difference. With the whip, I mean, you're going to come over your head and hit the drum. It's going to produce a loud sound, without a doubt. But like I said, if you come from over your head and really hit that drum hard, you only could hit the drum so hard. After you hit it at a certain point, it's going to choke on you. Now the pump is where you're playing at faster tempos. If you're playing, you want one stroke, you're going to come up here like this and hit the drum. Like I said about when you hit the drum, you only can hit it so hard it will choke. When I'm playing here, the whip don't exist. You don't have time for the whip. It's a pump. See the elbow coming into the side? That's the difference. I am not belittling or being condescending to Jim Chapin. All right. Now it's getting late and I have to get off YouTube. For those who are not on my mailing list, well, good for him, Jim. Anyway, for you who are not on my mailing list, email me. I'll put you on the mailing list. Whoever wants to become members of my site, mattpatellalivelessons.com, feel free to register. Okay? So with that being said, I'll be back here tonight, 7 p.m., probably a little earlier. I got to get a chance to loosen up a little bit. No, words. What is your first name and where are you from? Charles, okay. Joshua, I didn't even know you were here. Hello, Joshua. Remember, you want to be on my mailing list. I will add you to my mailing list. And usually on a Monday morning, you will get the week's agenda and the time and location of all the lessons. So I'm going to put my my email again. Email me and I'll add you. It's simple. And if you need a PDF, I will send you some PDFs. Okay? Joshua, you saying hello? Huh. Lesson's over, man. Lessons are at 1 o'clock. Okay? Lessons are at 1 and 7, Eastern Standard Time. Dennis, good job with the video. Next week I want to see an improvement on that. And for all those who had not sent me videos, please, man, don't be shy. Oh, I made a mistake on that. Ah, hold on. Here's my email. That's my email. Old dog, see you tonight. No problem. So remember, guys, email me. Joshua, come back tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Well, you see how the video helps, Dennis? Okay, and it's not only you. There's other videos that I see. They're doing the same thing. What they're trying, I don't know. See, like I said before, it seems to be a psychological thing where you're trying to prove something. Not you directly, but most drummers do. What are you trying to prove? Just do it correct. That's all you have to do. Okay, thank you for that, Jimmy. But I'm going to sign off now, and I should see everybody tonight at 7 p.m. Thank you.